Hello and welcome to Diva TV. My name is John Duffy and I am joined today by a most excellent guest, the one, the only Jamie Senegal. Jamie, thank you so much for your time. How are you doing today?
Thank you for having me. I am absolutely wonderful. I brought along my cousin Phantom of the Opera right here. I was having a moment. I just thought it would be cute to bring him along. How are you?
Awesome. Let's just jump straight into it. So in just over a week's time, you are going to be a part of history, and almost like not twice in the same night. So not only are you going to be part of NWA's first ever all women's pay-per-view Empower, but you're also part of NWA's first ever women's invitational, which is in the main event. So a couple of questions to kick off. How fucking cool is that? How excited are you, and how did it all come about?
It's the most surreal just you saying that, I have goosebumps.
Awesome.
Like, it's just the most surreal thing ever. Like, I always wondered for so long, like, why hasn't my time came yet? Why hasn't something happened for me yet? And then I really realized, because I've always said that I'm a diva. I live my life as a diva. Like, I always joke around, and like when I talk to all the women's vets, when they're telling me their stories, I'm like, oh, I know, I was there. Like, I'm a diva, I was there. So I just think it's so crazy that the universe had blessed me with an opportunity to work so closely with someone like Mickie James.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like the most crazy thing. And then to have Billy Corgan and NWA back this and just this is like the craziest thing ever on the entire planet. Like, I'm like glowing right now just thinking about it. It's so surreal, and honestly, I feel like I couldn't ask for a better way to honestly, like, even though I've had such a career on the indies, to really start a career in mainstream wrestling and to start getting known on a bigger platform than to start with Billy Corgan, NWA, and Mickie James.
I know, because like you kind of forget that like Billy Corgan of like the Smashing Pumpkins is also involved, so it's like it brings like a whole other avenue into it as well. Yeah, it's you know, I mean, we're as fans of women's wrestling, we're excited. So I can't even imagine how you guys are feeling. So one thing about the invitational, the main event, is that it's featuring like a who's who of wrestling talent out there. So obviously you've got Chelsea Green, you've got Genocide, you've got like Debbie Malenko's coming back. So how do you mentally prepare for a match of this like kind of magnitude and this like variety of opponents? What are fans going to expect to see from you once you step in the ring?
I literally have goosebumps right now. Like, I'm literally like shivering. This is so crazy. Like, awesome. When I'm sitting here listening to you say this, it's like I'm a part of this.
Yeah.
What the heck? I've actually gotten a chance to work with a lot of those girls in the matches. So I know pretty much what I'm up for going into it. And my plan is just to study as much homework. I'm going to rewatch those matches, figure out everything I have to do to get that W. But I am very nervous about Debbie Malenko because she is a bad bitch. She's scary.
Yeah. That's one of the great things about the whole event, is that like Melina, Debbie Malenko, you know, they're bringing back the NWA Women's Tag Team Championships. It's going to be off the charts. So, as I've just mentioned, like there's a wide variety of people taking part. So there's multiple wrestlers from multiple different promotions. So it's opened that forbidden door that we've kind of been hearing about so much recently. So what do you want to see kind of coming out of Empower? What do you want to see kind of coming from this talent share and this opening of said forbidden door?
I would love to see companies start to work closer together and be able to see, not like, this is iconic because like there was the invasion, and the invasion was so cool because everybody was beefing, but and they were beefing representing their brands. And now I feel like now, rather than it being hatred, it's just competition. But I kind of would like to see it get a little edgy again and see where we can go and see how much we can push the envelope and kind of almost even surpass just the nostalgic feeling, but also really just take it to the next level and make it now we're the new invasion, all of these companies, and really take it up there. And then in another 20 years, when the next group of wrestlers that are ready to go, once that forbidden door opens again, they have a whole new iconic era that they have to surpass and try to work harder to build.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a real exciting time. As a fan, it's just great to see. So obviously, as I've said, Empower is featuring a load of kind of first time and can't miss matches. So obviously, apart from your match, what other matches are you excited to watch at the event? Or will you watch them afterwards? Yeah.
I'm going to be standing right there watching all of it. Awesome. I don't know if there's going to be a monitor. I don't know if I can just peek through a curtain or whatever, but I'll go and put on a hoodie and a wrestling mask and sit in the crowd. Whatever I have to do. Yes. I want to see these matches. Like, I am so excited about Deonna and Melina.
Yeah.
That is going to tear. I mean, like, Melina's one of the best to ever put on boots, and Deonna's one of the best popping right now. And to see that feud, to see that clash, that's going to be insane for any women's wrestling fan. And I think that also it's going to make a lot of women's wrestling fans, which is really what I'm looking forward to the most. Is I really feel like Empower is going to make people who don't like women's wrestling like women's wrestling. And that's so powerful. That's literally empowering, pun intended. And I love that. And Tyga loves that because she keeps trying to pop up in here. She loves that too.
Getting involved.
And I'm also super excited to see Camille versus Layla Hirsch.
I think that's a really big match, obviously, because you've got the title on the line, but then you've also got this kind of size difference, which is going to be real interesting.
It has big Hogan versus Andre the Giant feels when you look at it. It's literally like watching like Kane and Rey Mysterio. Like, it's like the craziest thing ever. And when I sit there and I see this, I've known both of them for so long, and to see Camille be where she's at right now, she's a force to be reckoned with. I would say that she's a new China. Like, she's a whole force to be reckoned with. When you look at her, I would be terrified to face her. When you look at her, that is a specimen. That is like the perfect picture of what a women's wrestler is. And then you have Layla Hirsch, who I used to train with back in the day. And I know everything she has. She's so talented and she is a spitfire. And when you look at her, she just looks like she's going to break every bone in your body. So I'm so intrigued to see just the magic. And I think that is going to be, I think that has potential to turn into a blood feud that no one will ever forget.
Awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to see that. So as you just mentioned, you've trained with Layla Hirsch. So you've been wrestling for several years on the indies, CZW, Rise, Shimmer, to name but a few. So and you've also mentioned divas. You've mentioned like Rey Mysterio and Kane and stuff. So who and what was your inspiration to get into the wrestling community and get into the ring?
So it's always hard for me to narrow it down because honestly, like, every woman that came before me, truly, I mean that. Like, when I'm always like, oh, this person's my favorite wrestler, but I can't, because all of the women are literally my favorite. Because I was just like, oh my gosh. But if I have to narrow it down, it's still a little bit of a list, but I would say my top people that made me want to wrestle would be Ashley Massaro, Melina, Daphne, Taylor Wilde, Jazz, Alicia Fox. Like these people were so entertaining, athletic. Ashley was a bombshell, and I think she was great. I know some people like to argue with me about it, but I think she was great. And also, I think when it comes to her charisma and her mic work, I think she was untouched. I think she goes down as one of the most charismatic divas in history.
Awesome. So, like, next question is out of all of the women out there, who's your kind of dream opponent?
Well, so one of my absolute biggest dream opponents was Melina, and I did get to wrestle her one time, and we beat the absolute hell out of each other. When I tell you that's another reason why I'm sitting there like, ooh, I can't wait to see this, because I know what it feels like to be punched in the face by her. So I cannot wait to see this.
So you know
match.
what the honor's gonna get you.
Yeah, because Melina, let me tell you, like, you can see for a split second in our match, we go into a little strike trade on the outside, and she was not pulling back. She was giving it to me like anyone would give it to anybody. It hurt so bad. But I really, really, really would love to wrestle Taylor Wilde. She's like, Taylor Wilde, Angelina Love, and Mickey are my top 3 on my list right now.
Yeah, and well, and with the Forbidden Door, there might be a chance. Obviously, Taylor Wilde's just come back. You've got the Ring of Honor, the Eliminator tournament going on. So, like, as we kind of start to wrap up, it's the question of like what's next for Jamie Senegal is, as you mentioned, a lot of WWE names. Like, is WWE like the dream, the dream destination, or with the emergence of like AEW, Ring of Honor, as we just mentioned, and Impact, has that kind of widened the horizon of dream wrestling destinations for yourself?
So I totally would love to see my career end with WWE.
Right.
And I don't really see myself needing to be like a Hall of Famer or anything. Like, I think that's just the diva in me, is that I understand that, like, you get there and then you go. So at any point, it doesn't matter if I end my career there, if I go there. I would like to have like a 2 to 3 year run there. That's cute. That's good for me. But I really want to work for all of the companies. I just want to wrestle. And I love all of the companies for different reasons, because they all have such rich histories. And especially for women, like, when you see where these women come from, and you see, like, we used to have like Amazing Kong, Daisy Hayes, all of these people in like Ring of Honor, and then you go to Impact, and obviously that's one of the most iconic divisions in all of wrestling. I think that's one of the things that started the women's revolution for TV women's wrestling anyway. Like, I think that there's so much of a rich history anywhere that I would love to just go. And also, I would also love to just go to New Japan and maybe one day put it out there that there could be a great women's division there too. So that would be so sick.
Yeah, well, there has been talk of not really, but like backlash and stuff. Would Stardom or Sendai Girls or anywhere Ice Ribbon like that also be on the books or in the wish list?
Yeah, I would love to work for any of those companies out there. Absolutely. I had my eyes on Marvelous for a little bit and also Stardom, and I'm just kind of letting it go, let time see how everything's going. I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm a little popping off in the States right now, so I want to just kind of stay here too for a bit and just get as many bookings as I can and pile that up, and then from there go onwards.
Awesome. Well, hopefully, we'll get to see you on pay-per-view and on our TV screens a hell of a lot more after NWA Empower. But in the meantime, where can our watchers and our listeners go and support you?
My Twitter and my Instagram is at Jamie Lynn Senegal. My Twitter is at the Jamie Senegal. I stream on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/the Jamie Senegal. And That's it. I had a brain fart.
No worries.
I forgot my pro wrestling tees link. So just look me up on pro wrestling tees. I'm somewhere there.
Awesome. Well, Jamie, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you and finding out about EMPOWERRR, how it all came about for yourself. So again, thank you so much for your time, and I can't wait to see you kicking ass and making history next weekend. So good luck and take care.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. See you now.
See ya.